God damn it, there's my dogs. Go beat something.
What? What?
Hello?
What?
Hello? Hello? Hello, Mr. DM?
Stop.
I think I found Bug's voice. I'm kidding.
No!
I would kill myself. I would kill myself, and then my sibling would come in here and kill me twice, revive me, and then kill me again.
Hello?
Then
Appleboys?
perish. Albesia. Not one of the biggest continental landmasses in Dazun, but certainly one of the most important. Albesia has immense roots in culture and history. Led by King Oliver Taurus and his royal family, Albasia's empire has been established for an amount of time not feasibly recorded. After all, the calendar only came into action sometime in the last 2,000 years. Back at the start of the empire, humans were one of 5 major races looking to expand, along with the mystical elves, the hardy dwarves, the quiet lizard folk, and the proud Virilex. But, naturally, human endeavor came through, and the first king was produced, Roland Taurus, married to the elven queen Banmura Van Rael of the Jade Islands. Not long after, the empire records were set up. In exchange for free trade, travel, and peace, the major races combined, expelling the slavery that had been brought from the nearby continent of Yavi Cartel, and assembling a unity that they hoped would last until the world's end. But, of course, things of such a grand scale never last, and neither do they make humble beginnings to interesting tales. Indeed, our story starts on a much smaller scale. In the year E2731, we don't start in castles, focusing on kings, nor even on Albasian soil. No, our story starts on a small transport ship, set in the Courtier Sea, currently on a voyage between the city of Oldway in Vaishiravan and Meridia, the capital of Albesia. This ship holds no jewels or spices, no meat or oils. Instead, it holds something far more precious. People. Honest, wonderful people of all shapes and sizes, of all races and talents. Looking closer, one could learn a multitude of fascinating details about them and their secrets. But instead, it's better to just let things play out as they are and watch. So here we are. A large room on the main deck, filled with the majority of the vessel's 23 passengers, and even a few crew here and there. In one corner, a young halfling merrily plays the flute for her fellow passengers, a dwarven mother and her young daughter dancing jovially away in front of her, whilst a muscled human man with an air of confidence taps his boot and swigs down a tankard. On the other side of a small clearing, an enormous Goliath man barks advice to an elf and a dragonborn engaged in short combat spar, with wooden weapons clacking away. Every space in between is filled with small tables, most occupied. A trio of Kenku huddled together, heads around a map, each moving a series of wooden figures around, no doubt discussing trade for the following few weeks. Besides them, 3 elves wearing deep green armor lined with gold laugh and chat merrily, relaxed and enjoying the friendly air. A small party of human women sit up the other end, 3 tables pulled together to accommodate them, admiring the sparring trio, whilst consuming endless supplies of spirits and liquors that a young, flustered dragonborn boy hastily acquires for them. Besides them, an elderly halfling gentleman in a full suit and top hat scowls at the noise they're making as he sips from his crystal goblet, and a half-orc sits behind him, dressed in the traditional soldier robes found in the East, peacefully reading a book. In the corner, alone, a male tabaxi is curled up in a chair, clinging to the shadows like they're his clothes. But it's the table in the very center that we focus on. 3 occupants sit around it, 2 of whom are engaged in a simple game of cards. The smallest of the 3 is a small gnomish girl, dirty brown hair, wide eyes squinting in concentration, a washcloth over her shoulder. This girl is Trixie, a crewmate responsible for supplying drinks and looking after the passengers. Her opponent in the match is a lot bigger, about 3 times her size, in fact, a half-orc. And, Robin, would you like to describe your character?
It's happening.
Robin, you need to unmute if you decide to do so.
Hello, my name is Gwyneth. I'm a bit of a big lass. I'm very, very tall, and I'm new to the area. I guess I'm playing cards with a young gnome. This is quite a day. I'm here looking for someone, and I'm not sure what to make of this travel, of this voyage quite yet. I'm not exactly. I'm a little out of sorts, you see. I'm not on, as one might say, official business, and that tends to make me a little nervous, a little babbly. This is all in character at the gnome.
Okay.
I'm sitting next to a gnome, I say to the gnome.
No,
It's okay. It's
Everything
okay.
that was in
You're valid.
was in character.
yeah, that was very pointedly a ramble, and very pointedly very third person.
It's okay.
Okay.
So, I guess I'm going to zoom out a lot. Gwyneth is a very tall half-orc woman. She's dressed in crew members' clothes. She's got some not easily definable sort of natural jewelry. Some of it looks to be made out of scales. Some of it looks to be made of large teeth. But it's understated. It's under fairly civilized clothing. Her hair is short, and it's sort of side braided so that it's out of the way. And she's got these big, expressive golden eyes and very large tusks.
Big anime eyes.
A little
Big
bit.
tusks, heart eyes.
I'm
Jack, that's your cue.
Okay. Well, I was just wondering if you wanted to say anything else.
well, I'm not
If-
sure what
if
kind
not-
of card game she's playing, or like I don't.
Oh, don't worry. It'll
Yeah.
continue. The fiber person at this table is sat with their knees up beneath their chin, feet resting on the edge of the chair. They follow the game, but sit a lot closer to the gnome than the half-orc, not out of fear of the latter, but trust of the former. This person is a young half-elf boy. And Cam, would you like to describe your character?
Actually, I will point out more androgynous than anything, although masculine leaning, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry. They don't care, honestly, what anyone says about what anyone perceives them to be. They're just kind of rolling with it. And Bug is a skinny thing. They are also wearing some rather ill-fitting crew clothing, as they might have. Some of you might have heard about some ruckus early in the trip where a stowaway was found sneaking on board and has been graciously put to work instead of being tossed overboard to drown, which they are mostly grateful for, but also very grumpy about being caught. They are kind of twitchy a little bit, just kind of constantly fidgeting their hands, just kind of watching these two lovely ladies with their card game, probably trying to figure out how it works because they are not smart. And occasionally, like leaning over and whispering to the gnome, like, "What happened? What are you doing now? Come on, how does this work? Don't you need to do this?" Just being a bit of a nuisance.
The
But
gnomish
Bit of a
girl.
bug.
The gnomish girl kind of isn't annoyed. She kind of considers you kind of a friend, and you get the idea that this gnomish girl is kind of the one that vouched a lot for you to kind of be put to work rather than thrown overboard.
We're good.
Lovely. The card game nears its conclusion, and the gnomish girl comes out on top, claiming a handful of copper pieces as she goes.
This is
And
always
she-
what happens to me. I've got such rotten luck.
Well, I have always had very good luck, and I think I've just shown it right there. She kind of scoops up these handful of copper pieces. Better luck next time.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you want to play? And she gestures at Bug.
Yeah, remind me how it works again.
She kind of looks at you and then goes, "Wait, you've just been watching the game. You weren't paying attention?"
Yeah, I was. It gets a little confusing after you deal out the cards.
She collects the cards up and starts shuffling them. As the cards are collected, the Goliath watching the sparring match in the corner gives a hearty laugh, followed by a bark of advice. The Kenku shift uncomfortably, eye him up with that disdain, then depart from the room. Finally, the clacking stops as the two sparring men bow, and the Goliath reluctantly heads back outside, perhaps to resume his duties as the first mate of the ship. These two men cast a look around, say a few quiet yet peaceful words to each other, then proceed to the nearest person who can serve drinks for their refreshment, Trixie, the gnomish girl. As they step beside her, she casts her eyes up whilst shuffling, confronted by the Dragonborn and the elf. Probably got that wrong, but Jamie and Brian, would you like to describe your characters?
Jamie first.
Okay. Carlisle is a sort of tall white dragonborn, and he has very piercing blue eyes, and he has like this air of peace that surrounds him. And he looks very friendly, but he also looks a little bit intimidating because of all the spikes. And you get the idea that he's seen some things. He looks a little bit tired, and you get the idea that he's a little bit wise, even though he seems very young.
And standing next to him is a vaguely Asian-looking elf with hair that's clippered short but spiked off a little bit to the side, almost looks a bit windblown to the left-hand side of their face. Big copper-rimmed glasses, and just staring down at the drink maiden with a big smile on his face. It seems perpetually stuck there. Excuse me, do you know where I could get any hot water?
Sure. Anything particular to spice it up with, or are you just after hot water?
Oh, well, if you have any varieties of tea, I would very much like that. Thank you.
Sure, we got pretty much, well, a few small supplies. Anything particular?
Whatever's cheapest, if you don't mind. I'm really strapped for cash.
Hey, you pay for the trip. It's all free at the moment. Well, besides from them, she kind of gestures at the human women that are still going through, like, decanters of liquor and spirits. They pay for whatever the hell they want because, well, to be honest, they are consuming a lot more than everybody else.
Yes, I could see that drinking their way through the ocean, it might seem.
Well, what about you, big guy? You want anything? Looking at Carlisle.
Oh, sorry. I thought everyone was being quiet, so until I opened my door, and then the conversation continued. So I didn't hear a lot of that. I'm so sorry.
Do you want tea?
Do you want something to drink?
Do you want anything to drink?
Tea would be fine.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll see what I can muster up. She gets up. For the time being, might as well throw up a few chairs, keep the game going. I'll be back in a second. She walks off.
Oh, are you playing cards? Oh, I haven't played in years. Here, please. And he just sort of sits down where the gnome was.
I like to
what
think that
game
she
are
just
we
kind of shoved the deck of cards into Bug's hand as she walked away, and Bug's just, what do I do with this? Well,
you shuffle them, of course.
They didn't even invite you into the game yet.
Alex looks a bit mortified. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And he stumbles out of the chair, and the chair goes over. He's like, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here. And he just puts the chair back and very pointedly just stands up as straight as he can. Sorry.
oh gosh, I feel like this laughter is a bit in character.
What an odd, bumbling fellow.
Bug
That's an
just
accurate description.
stares at Alex with their big ol' also actually pale blue eyes like Carlisle's got, but big anime eyes.
Oh, for the record, Alex is green. But yeah, Alex is just looking like incredibly embarrassed, like flush now. Just like eyes darting around, nervous grin on his face.
I mean, if you know any if you know any card games, then I would be happy to let you join. I'm afraid I'm a bit not well versed in this area.
It's about this time. There's another change of sound in the cabin. The music has stopped. The two dwarves, mother and daughter, applaud the halfling, who steps down with a hearty bow before putting her flute away. The muscular human man raises his drink to her, and she curtsies before moving between tables. Eventually, eager for a story and a chat, she occupied table, standing beside the half-orc, who remains significantly taller despite sitting down. And Sam, would you like to introduce your character?
Oh god, now I'm getting stage fright. Okay,
You can do it.
I can do this. Okay.
You got this.
You're valid.
So, geez. Okay. You see, a young halfling woman before you. She's about 2 feet tall. And she's got short curly hair and a sort of pixie cut, so her bangs are constantly in her eyebrows, so you can't really see them very well. But she has green hazel eyes and very freckled face. She's wearing simple clothing with some flashy colors, I suppose, kind of like bright pastels that stick out, mainly like in decorations of little birds or flowers amongst the hem of like her vest and her pant seam. Yeah, and she's carrying her flute around. Basically, she's kind of holding it against her shoulder in a sort of like casual way, tapping it every now and again as she kind of sashays her way up to the table and goes, "Well, how there? How you all doing this fine evening?
Doing very well, thank you.
I see you playing cards. What game you playing?"
Well, I believe that's a matter of discussion. Bug, do
Oh.
you have anything you want to say on the matter? Bug's the one with the cards right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cammy, you're muted.
Dicks. I
Wait,
muted myself so I wouldn't giggle during Sam's thing because Lily sounds adorable. Sam. Anyway,
I agree.
Bug
real?
kind of just kind of stares at the deck of cards, just looking confused, trying to hide it, but eventually why don't we put it to a vote? Eh?
Well, I mean,
does
to be
anyone have
fair-
any they are well versed in?
Well, aside from solitaire and go fish, I'll admit I'm not very good at cards.
Fantasy Go Fish. God, that's a
Go
thought.
Drake.
Anyway,
So
Go
Lily will
Dragon.
kinda-
Everyone looks at Carlisle.
Oh no!
Lily will kind of turn her head and then look up all the way up at Alex and Carlisle and go, "Hi, are you gonna sit down? Or are you gonna stand there looking like open fish?"
I've never heard that saying in my life.
Yeah, I know, I made it up. I'm working on it.
it works.
Well,
Little
I'm
bit.
just gonna sit down if that's all right.
Do we need more chairs? I'll go get more chairs. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Pardon me. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me. He just sort of like wanders off to get a couple more seats.
Sorry if I haven't introduced myself to you lovely people yet. My name's Lily of the Valley, your bard for the evening. So if you need any songs, I can certainly play. Although not while doing cards at the same time. That'd be kind of impossible. At this time, that'd be something to look into in the future.
What sort of songs do you know?
Mainly folk songs right now. I've been playing in sort of the rural parts of the area. Well, before I entered the ship, I've been learning plenty of sea shanties from the crew, and I think I'm getting good at it.
So, would you be able to tell me what to do with a drunken sailor?
You know, I don't know what a scubbard is, but I hear you're supposed to put him in there until he's sober.
Yes. I heard something about extremities and a rusty razor, but I don't think I would very much suggest that
Yay,
way.
I didn't get it very much. That's why I'm still learning, you see. Some of this sailor slang is kind of up there for me.
Yes. I think it's supposed to be a metaphor, but I'm not quite certain yet.
Well, we'll figure it out eventually. So what's your name, dear?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Alex. Alex Sage. Pleasure to meet you all.
Nice to meet you, Alex Sage. And Lily kind of looks expectantly at Bug and Gwyneth.
Hi, I'm Gwyneth. Gwyneth like moves to shake Lily's hand, but instead just like picks her up by the arm.
Woo! Oh man, I never met a half orc as big as you. You're quite lovely.
Oh my.
Sorry, that might have been a little rude. I apologize.
No, it's Gwyneth is blushing. It's quite all right.
The shipping instantly starts.
Instantly.
Shipping on a ship?
This is my ship.
Oh boy.
About this time, Trixie comes back with the 2 drinks and hands them to both Alex and Carlisle. Grabs another seat for herself and sits back down. We gonna do this or what?
What's the game we're playing?
A little thing I like to call Go Dragon. Yeah, I
Oh,
overheard
thank
you.
goodness,
That's
I
a
know
thing.
how to play that.
I'm certain it's...
As I presume you all kind of sit down and
Yeah.
make your way around the table. I suppose this is sort of happening, shuffling the car, just having a general conversation. Soon enough, a few others begin to depart from the main cabin. It is kind of in the night, so it's leading on towards late evening now. You see the dwarven mother and her daughter, they go off. A couple of the human women that have been drinking heavily kind of stumble out. The rest remain behind, and the half-orc reading disappears. However, not all are done. As the doors on the main deck open once more, and this time a figure comes in. It's a rather imposing figure, hooded, wearing these grey robes held in place by sashes. Looks quite bulky, wide frame. Looks like they could be packing quite a lot of muscles underneath there. Wearing these heavy, thick boots cause this kind of slow, shuffling plod as they make their way, vibrating across the hall, inwards, directly towards one of your party, Trixie, who appears to be the only person there, aside from that young dragonborn serving drinks. She doesn't bat an eyelid as this person comes up. And essentially they stop right next to her, turn, and as they bring their hands up to their hood to pull it down, they say,
I'll have your finest milk, please.
And Michael, you see him take his hood off. And he couldn't look more than... he's definitely a teenager. He's no more than 19 at the most. I'd call him more 17-ish. And he's got a hair of brown hair that seems to have a little bit of luster to it. He's a healthy boy, strapping young man with a constellation of freckles on his face. And he's got these big round eyes full of wonder, and he's very excited to order the finest milk this establishment has to offer.
Do we have milk?
Yeah, that's the question. Do the sailors usually carry milk on their ships? I reckon it kind of goes bad really fast without a cellar.
Yes, I would
assume
assume
not.
it would spoil, or unless it is some kind of powdered substance or magically preserved. Is that magical preservation? And Alex just like starts flipping through his book.
It never tastes like the real stuff. I mean, it's supposed to, but it never does.
Trixie looks up at you and sighs heavily. Fine, I will go and see what I've got. Why don't you, I don't know, take a seat or whatever. I'll go and see what I got. I'll come back for you. She gets up and goes back off to the bar. You do look over and there is that kind of a bar thing at the far end. It's kind of close to where the tabaxi's sitting in the corner.
Awesome. Well, Michael waltzes right over with a bit of swagger in his step to this corner where he can place one elbow on the bar's top and one hand on his hip as he leans onto it like he's, bit like hot shit. Grinning from ear to ear, excited to get his milk.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see Michael again.
Trixie, Trixie,
Yeah.
while you're there, could you trouble me for an ale?
Sure thing. You hear out the back room, and she's just like running through various different pots and places where they store different things. And eventually she comes back with what is essentially just regular old milk. Who knows how they've got it, but they do.
They just have a
And
cow.
also the drink for Gwyneth. And she comes back over. I presume Michael follows.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, first of all, Michael scoffs at this non-milk drink. Just under his breath.
She doesn't hear,
Good.
or she just doesn't care.
Well, Michael takes his glass of milk, and with just the most gusto in the world, he takes a big old swig, downs the whole thing in one.
Immediately starts choking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to do a con save or?
I mean, I do want him to drink the whole glass, and I'll do what it takes.
She does watch this happen, and at the same time thinks, "Shit, I am gonna have to go off and get another drink again."
That was a little bit terrifying. Just to say.
Drink too much like that and you'll throw up.
I was going to say, how are you not vomiting?
Well, people like me, we all got talents.
Is that considered a talent where you're from?
Alex looks very intense.
Kylie, that's that can be misconstrued very easily.
Oh no, not like that.
I mean, back where I'm from, we got a lot of cows, so, I mean...
Lily takes out a little pocket journal from her hip and just starts writing little notes down and goes, "Yeah, plenty of cows where I come from too, darling."
Oh, cool!
And Michael scutters over to see her. Wow. It's totally normal and good to ask and be interested in what kinds of cows, right? People who've never been on a farm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't live on a farm, but man, I had an uncle who had several cows. And that's impressive when you're a halfling, because cows are 3 times your size.
Cows are
And-
already big for normal-sized people, like
This
me.
is very true.
Wow. So what you guys doing?
Well, we were gonna play Go Dragon, but we're just waiting on drinks now.
Oh, I love Go
Trixie's-
Dragon.
Trixie's next to you. She has given Gwyneth her drink by now. She's kind of
Hey,
standing there thinking that someone's about to ask her to go up and get another drink, despite this being her literal job.
alright, so you want to deal cards out now?
Yeah, if we're all done getting drinks,
good.
I will shuffle and deal. Who's in?
I'll
I
play.
am.
I won't be playing. I'll just be spectating.
I will join Lizzie in expectating.
Lizzie,
Yes.
try again.
What is your name,
Something
sir?
else.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
My name is Carlisle.
Nice to
Cardi.
meet you. Lily of the Valley.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
That's quite the fancy title.
Well, when you're a bard, you gotta have a good stage name after all.
This is true.
When you're a bard, Alex is writing this down. You have to have.
You don't have to write down everything people say.
Lily kind of just leans over Alex's shoulder and just nods sagely yeah, that's right, good job.
I like
This is
to
impressive
keep
'cause she's
climbing
like,
a bit to look over
I
his
literally
shoulder.
am I'm literally leaning on my chair like a little kid.
Oh boy.
Trixie takes a seat, makes sure that everyone's got room to sit down on the table, and begins just dealing out the cards to whoever's playing. So who is playing?
Alex will play.
So far, I think
Lily?
it's everyone but Bug
Oh.
and Carlisle.
Okay, everybody, roll a d8.
Question: do the cards have written stuff on them, or are they just?
Is it,
Like,
basically, is
uh,
it literally just Go Fish but dragons?
They are just they're just regular playing cards. I'm just basically going to do a quick game just to simulate how they work. I'm not actually going to get you to sit here and play out the full game, partly because I have no idea how it actually works.
Does
Ruh-roh.
anyone have a two of Wyverns?
5.
Uh,
I think dang it, yes I do here.
maybe?
Hey, here, let me see real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Here, he holds out his hand to you.
Carlisle during this has taken out his it's like a thick journal with it looks very worn, and he started to sketch.
You're all very, very You all do like your writing, don't you?
I'm not an artist. I do write. I mainly just make little notes, stuff to tell the family when I go home. You know, I forget things sometimes.
Alex's book looks like a phone book.
Oh shit.
Lily, that's fat. Do you mind if I take a look at what you've been writing?
Well, yeah, sure, why not? And I'll pass it over to you, and it's mainly just little notes about, like, at this point, it's, basically directions, like, from the port town we came from. It sounds very rural looking at it. It's like, turn left at the fork in the road, and then turn left at the Raven's Rock, and then you'll go straight, and you'll hit the town of insert.
Turn left at the rock that looks like a face.
Talk to the man at the port, and he'll get you to the boat.
Gwyneth is just like flipping through this with a big smile on her face.
Are the eyes dotted with hearts?
No, it's just
No. I'm speaking of in the writing.
No, but there are little doodles of birds, like very like stick figure type things and little notes about them. Like
That's
saw
adorable.
a sparrow today, was a different type than I've ever seen before, must be local to the area, stuff like that.
Like Night in the Woods kind of art style.
Yeah.
and like Gwyneth is very much focusing on the little drawings of birds and is like super happy about it all.
Yeah, and there's like little notes about folklore of the area,
Yeah.
like this forest is said to be haunted by a specific type of friendly ghost who lures people from bad paths to better paths and stuff like that, or contradicting lore on the subject.
Good to know Casper found some work.
Yeah. Michael sees people talking about books and produces one of his own. It's small, like more like a breast book, and he's like, I have one of these too.
Nice! What's yours about?
Oh, here. I mean, you can take a look, and he hands it over.
Well, thank you very much.
You open it up, and I'm just going to send you a quick image of what it looks like, because I drew it very, very as you can see, it is loopy little scribbles in what looks like... It's not writing. It's not writing. You can make that out. It doesn't matter what language it is. It's not writing. And just very potato-y doodles of himself and things that he's seen.
Well, that's
Lily will
just
just-
charming.
Lily will just
Yeah,
look
I'll-
through it and be like, this is the sweetest little thing I've ever seen.
It appears to be some kind of cipher.
Not
Of course
everything
it
is a
is.
conspiracy.
Of course it's a cipher. I have secrets in this world.
Alex's
very cool.
eyes just like narrow, very like not like conspiratorially, and he's like, "Yes, of course, we all have secrets in this world." Does
Michael
anyone
seems
have any
intimidated.
threes?
Bug stays quiet throughout
No,
this
he
whole
wasn't, like,
thing.
To give more explanation, he wasn't squinting at you, like he was just staring off to the side, like it was a fucking anime character. Like,
Oh my
yeah, we
God.
all
Looks
have
into the
this, like-
camera.
yeah.
Yeah. Michael leans over to Lily and asks if he has any threes.
No, but it looks like you got one.
Oh, okay, thank you. He leans back.
Liz starts to really wonder if Michael can read at all.
That's a good question, isn't it?
Is Gwyneth and Bug playing cards?
Yeah.
Bug's just
Oh,
watching,
you guys-
mostly to hide the fact that yes, they don't know shit.
If you
Gwyneth,
are,
you
do you want to
gotta
roll a
roll.
d8?
Oh yeah, sorry. I rolled it the actual die and read out the roll a while ago, but I'll just okay.
No, Bug's just watching.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, at this point, everybody roll a d6 and add it to what you got.
Okay.
Oh, the comeback.
Oh.
I mean, you're still higher than me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we get schooled.
6644.
Wait,
Roll 20.
Roll 20.
Are you telling us something? Roll 20.
27s.
I lean over to Lily. Do I have any sevens?
No, you're not playing.
Oh. I knew that. I was just testing you.
Wait, shit, I got confused.
that's a clever tactic. Always keep them on their toes.
Yeah, this one gets it.
Oh,
Play a
my
hard
God.
game.
Accepts. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm not playing. He just accepts.
And everybody roll a d4 and then add it again.
I think Jack just like schooled us.
That's fine, I don't care.
How? Yeah, that is
Ruh-roh.
pretty remarkable.
She wiped the floor with us at Go Fish.
Well, luckily you don't wage in goldfish.
I mean, you could.
So, hey, this is Go Dragon. This is
Yeah,
this
that's
is
true.
completely different game.
Completely
Just a
different.
coincidence.
Yeah, it's actually we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
No,
Put myself in defense mode.
Blue Eyes White Dragon.
I use Pot of Greed. It allows me to draw 2 cards from my deck and add it to my hand.
Kylie, no.
Dragon!
Kylie, no. Do not bring that memery in here.
Yu-Gi boy.
Alright.
So we got what 13 for Trixie. Is it 7 for Michael?
He did his best.
3.
guy.
11 for Gwyneth. Yeah.
Yeah.
11 for Lily.
What I do.
And 12 for Alex. So this is a great start for me, isn't it? Look, I wasn't even. Okay, that's
You
great.
weren't even trying to wipe the
Trixie.
floor with us.
Trixie just kind of raises her eyebrows and shrugs at you all with a big grin on her face and goes, "Well, you know what? I am pissed off that we weren't playing for any money."
No, I lost again.
But
That's
we
all right,
can
there's
do.
always next time.
Trixie, dear, you've already got all of my money.
Well, I'm sure you got some other things you can give me if I win, but luckily you don't have to. And she takes the cards in again, shuffles. Well, you can play more, or we can just assume that you guys play a bit more over the night if there's anything.
Well, I was gonna say, like, after we do a second hand, maybe, it just goes, so how long exactly have we been on this boat anyway? And I haven't even talked to you people.
Voyage so far has been about, well, I think about 12 days. We're nearly there now. I believe we're just coming into the Arbor Islands, just passing that side. It's very south of Albesia, but soon enough you'll see the mainland.
Well,
Bug
that's
just
good to
kind of
know.
slumps, hearing that it's been 12 whole days. They probably got caught on like day 2.
Aw.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
I've been mostly preoccupied with the meditations of my lizard friend here.
Well,
You know that people can learn to meditate like elves can. It's fascinating.
Not the exact same way.
Well, yes, of course, but just the idea that you could get a modicum closer is just it's something like, well, to put it simply, like I can't ever breathe fire. Well, maybe I can, but I haven't tried it. But you see my point.
They have a word for those people.
kinda
Those
snorts.
are fire breathers.
Michael's eyes go so big, thinking that maybe he can breathe fire too.
So does Alex.
Don't try too hard. You might
Well,
hurt yourself.
I don't know how it works. It's something about where you get a stick, you light it on fire, and well, it's mainly fire dancing, but you can also breathe fire by like sticking the stick in your mouth and then pulling it out and breathing. I guess it's supposed to how it works. But this was without knowing any of the details, so don't.
Please
try
don't give
that.
him ideas.
Alex
well,
is writing
I mean, what's the worst
furiously.
that could happen?
Aren't you supposed to be all red if you breathe fire?
Bug,
You're right.
don't engage with them. They seem to be the reckless sort. We're keeping you out of trouble, remember?
She'll have more problems with my elven friend here than she will with me.
I beg to
And there
differ,
you go.
actually. I'm not the one who, goes swinging that stick around when someone's just casually observing.
You were right in my face. I was meditating.
Yes, well, I wasn't. I thought you were. Well, I'm used to people being less perceptive.
Carlisle sighs because he knows this is not going to get anywhere.
So you hit him with a stick?
He scared me.
Well, he tried to hit me with a stick. It's a bit different, but regardless, I apologized profusely. Took a while to get them to stop, but yes, actually, you mentioned you're trying to keep them out of trouble. Are you their caretaker?
Well, I don't know about caretaker, but Trixie and I found Bug in the cellars week and a half back or so, and
But
well,
Bug just has that look of like a kid whose parent is like oversharing. Just like, no, please.
Mom, no!
Yeah.
Just that
My-
defeated, just, oh no, why are you bringing this up?
Michael seems actually a little bit interested.
So you were the one we heard so much ruckus about back then. I was wondering what that was about. I would have thought they'd just kick you right off. Why'd they keep you? I mean, why'd you keep her? Them.
Well, because they were drowned otherwise.
I can't really tell. Bug, I'm sorry, this is going to be very personal, but do you have like a specific pronoun you go by? Because I can't really tell which one you are.
Yes.
Good to know. Yes, it is.
Bug is bug.
Bug
This
is
is
bug.
this is all that needs to be said.
You know what? I respect that.
Bug's gender is mischief, from what I can tell.
Sounds
Maybe.
like it. Seriously, why'd you decide to let her on? Keep on staying on the ship.
Well, it's not like we're going to throw her into the ocean. Throw them
that's a
into the
point.
ocean. That's just not. That's not how we treat people.
Of
The
course, they
captain-
float.
The captain is a nice guy. Okay, you probably met him. He doesn't have prejudices here, and when I say innocent as innocent looking as this, he's not exactly just gonna send him out to die.
Who's the captain again? I've been running around talking to most of the sailors and not really the captain himself, so I haven't really seen him.
He is you perhaps seen him. You probably haven't spoken to him. He is essentially a male human. His name is Captain Marek Walton. He sort of told you at the start of the vessel a bit about where they go. He's mainly a sailor that basically transports people rather than supplies. He's been all around northern Desert, including Yavi Cartel, Halvany, Beishiravan, and as far south as Nafisia, which is one of the continents right down below Yavi Cartel. But he hasn't been to Albesia or Halvany in a few years' time.
Oh. Have you been to Albesia, Tracy?
Myself? No, not here. I've been to Halvany a few times, but never to Albesia. It's a first for me.
Man, me too. I've heard about the place from my relatives, and I'm really excited to go there.
So am I. The captain gives us so much time off there. I just want to explore. I heard that they have really, really great things to see in Meridia. Like, it's meant to be one of the best capitals in Dezen.
That's what I've heard of.
Yeah. I'm planning to get a job just for a little while. I need to earn some coins so I can do my own actual quest line. I don't know how to describe it. I have this goal in mind, and I'm going to only get it if I earn some money, unfortunately.
Well, you know what? I would be more than happy to look around the city for you when we do dock. Obviously, I can't stay for long, though. The captain does like to take off after a couple of weeks.
No, I absolutely understand. But thanks for looking out for me, Trixie. I appreciate that.
No worries. Now, we gonna keep playing?
Yeah, sure. I'm up.
The
Actually,
night
I've got
goes on and
something.
you play a few more hands.
So Alex, where do you hail from?
Sorry, I'm doing something real quick.
Alex vanishes into the ether.
Alex is
does
incredibly
this
distracted.
Alex is no longer there.
He is completely distracted
He's
riding
got
in
the
his...
zip stuck on his coat and he's just furiously trying to unjam it.
I swear this doesn't typically happen. Doc, the blasted thing.
Alex, let me help you. You're making a fool out of yourself.
Yes,
So while
please.
they're occupied, Gwyneth, where are you from, if you don't mind my asking?
I'm from a very small village up north. I'm on my way to Meridia to find maybe some family. I've heard. I'm sorry, I get a little nervous about this, but I'm on my way to maybe find my grandmother.
Oh.
Whoa.
I hope. We'll see.
What happens here that you need to find her?
If you don't mind me saying, I'd rather not go into it at the moment. It's a bit of a tale, and Gwyneth's had some ale at this point, and is
Carlisle nods and drops the subject. He gets it.
All right, but if you got a tale to tell, I'm going to
there's-
ask for it later, just so you know.
At this point, Carlisle finishes his sketch and nudges. Alex is probably on one side. Who would be right next to him? Otherwise, he just sort of lays it out, and it's a pretty detailed sketch of the table and what's been happening.
oh.
Hey, nice.
Oh my god, Michael's
That's-
eyes are so big.
And in the margins, there's scrawls of you feel, and it's very sloppy handwriting that you can't really decipher unless you get closer.
Lily
Michael
kinda
pokes a
leans-
finger at it and says,
Is that me?
Sure. I'm kidding.
Wow.
Here it's you. Here, this is you, and he points out where you are in the actual picture.
Oh, I see. See, that's my row right there. I get it. Wow. You're such a good drawer.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
God. I'm sorry. I'm
Alex, if
I'm
you
very
might-
emotional about Michael. I forgot how much I missed him.
He's so good. I made him a little bit dumber, but I mean, I guess that's just how he is now.
Sounds like me.
Oh no.
I mean, that sounds like all of us on certain days.
Yeah.
So Lily actually looks closer at the scrawling to try and make it out. Does it say something specific?
It's I don't know what it would like say specifically, but it's like you get the idea. You like figure out it's like dreams he's had that he's woken up in the middle of the night and then quickly wrote down.
He's got a dream journal.
Well, Lily's like, oh, this little picture's so cute. Can I title it real quick? And I pull out a little pen.
Sure. Try not to cover up anything.
No, definitely. And I scroll at the very corner of the drawing, so it's not taking up any other space. I scroll in very beautiful calligraphy, Knight of Cards, and I date it.
I feel like Bug is enthralled by this very, very fancy writing.
You're also a calligrapher. I
Wow.
know a little myself, and he flips back a couple pages, and you can see like a very beautifully written details of a day he's had one day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was the bookkeeper for my family. We own a little shop where I come from, so I was mostly in charge of writing and stuff. And once you start writing every single day for 3 hours straight, you tend to make it look fancier, so you don't get bored.
I understand. I lived at a monastery for the past couple years. I think around 6 by now. There's not a lot to do, so I had to find some way to keep myself occupied. Aside from my other duties.
Like learning how to meditate?
Carlisle, you're a religious devotee yourself, are you?
A bit. It's mostly a recent thing.
I see. Well, what called you to the faith then?
Oh, this is a very good story. He's told me this before.
Michael turns his attention.
Well, I was traveling a bit after leaving my birth clan. I've been having strange dreams that I won't get into detail, but a friend of mine, who I hadn't known until this day, that she found me and brought me into this monastery. It's helped immensely.
That story. It warms my heart.
Wow.
Wow, where is that accent going?
Let it go where it must.
To be very honest, I tried to go subtle, but it's just not working for me. I just gotta pull out, let it go. Otherwise, I'm gonna be freaking out about this accent for the rest of my life. Anyway.
That's a heartwarming story. I myself, I guess I was brought up in the church, and Gwyneth pulls out a religious symbol that seems to be made of woven maple twigs.
Oh my, that is beautiful.
What deity is it that you place yourself under? I guess is how I would word it. I don't know anything.
I've been brought up in the Temple of Naylor of nature stewardship, I guess is the best way to put it.
It's very interesting. What are the teachings like? What is your life like under this deity?
Well, mainly my life's mission has been to I've been brought up to spread the faith and to defend people and to defend those who cannot defend themselves has been how my focus has really gone into it. When I was at school, it was a little more focused on proselytizing, but I've always been the type to put myself in harm's way to protect the innocent. I guess that would be the way that they told me to put it. I don't know. It just seems to be my natural inclinations. Gwyneth trails off very nervously.
That sounds very romantic, almost like some sort of holy night.
Oh. I suppose you could say that. Yes.
I mean, I guess it depends on what type of protecting you do. Do you try to go for a metaphorical type where you try to comfort people so that when they have to do things that, make them think about religion, they feel comforted? Or is it more of a, I'll guard you with my life and fight the creatures that come after you in the night, like wolves and bears?
Well, I've never been much for never been very good at the metaphorical the metaphorical kind of protection. I always wanted to be, but that's really my friend June. She's much better at that than I am. I've always been, I'm a strong lass, and it's I've always been better at the literal kind of protection. And she flexes a little.
Impressive.
Lily just kind of like.
Oh boy.
That's really cool.
Michael's actually kind of like fidgeting. He's got this really big talisman around his neck that seems to be whittled from a piece of stray wood. It's got a bunch of little feathers stuck to the back of it with an M engraved on the front.
And what's that, Michael?
My necklace.
Necklace.
Your necklace, eh?
Uh-huh. It's my mom gave it to me.
I'd like to inside check him.
Sure, go for it.
Alright. Now, I say that, but I'm terrible at this, so.
Oh boy.
As far as you're concerned, he's telling the truth.
Yes.
So sweet.
I think I'd also like to do that. I'm also not very good at it, but
You're worse at it, but you did better.
That again, just seems like he's being honest with you. He's kind of a hard person to read, more so in that he's very simple-minded rather than like deceitful.
You're not sure if he's capable of lying?
Yeah.
What's
Just
a
pretty
precious
so
boy?
Thanks. Yeah. It's got an M on it because my name's Michael and it starts with an M.
Well, that makes it very easy to understand.
Yeah. So you guys are like religious people, right?
A
Not
bit.
really.
I mean,
Huh.
I guess so. Yeah, that would be the point of it, wouldn't it? The point of growing up in the church.
Yeah,
When
I
it's-
suppose so.
Out of character, like Michael hasn't been serious about this, but like Gwyneth looks a little bit as though she's having an existential crisis now.
Bug is just kind of fidgeting nervously as this entire conversation continues in this direction. Just kind of-
Michael looks at Bug with like this look of like, oh, we're both uncomfortable at the same party.
I personally don't really devote myself to anybody. Not at this current time in my life. I was always more focused on material goals, I suspect. I was always focused on keeping the family business up, and then after that, just following my dreams. Maybe on this adventure I'm going on, maybe I'll come across a deity who strikes my fancy. Although, if I were to take a partial to any god, I'd probably have to one who deals with luck. Kind of a thing I deal in sometimes.
I totally get
Sometimes.
it. I mean, I don't believe in any gods, personally. I mean, it's just kind of weird. They're invisible people. I mean, you can't touch them, you know?
You know, yeah, I don't know. I never really thought about it. There's so many, and
Today on D&D,
world
the group
we
gets deep.
there's so many that live in this world, you know, and like everybody has a particular one, and sometimes you gotta wonder, do they even exist? Like,
Oh,
really?
yeah. Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we do have significant proof that they exist.
Oh, no,
Really?
of course. What?
Oh yes. When I was attending my studies, I learned of a few spells that get you in direct contact with these celestial beings, the gods, as you would call them. But for all we know, these high-level wizards might just be pulling wool over our eyes, if the phrase goes well. But there seems to be enough evidence to prove that, yes, if you get a significant amount of power and significant amount of magical energies coursing through your veins, and the gods deem you worthy of speaking to them, they will answer your message.
Michael's nodding and nodding. He's got his book open and he's writing some loops.
Lily is doing the same, but she's actually writing like spells that can contact God? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
So is that like a
It just
spell
sounds
you
silly
can
when
learn?
you say it like that.
Well, it's a spell I can learn. I don't know if all of you see. Magic is a bit weird with different creatures. See, some can do it. With you, for example, you're musically inclined. There's a few people who can magically attune their music and draw forth the innate essence of the spiritual magic existing in the world itself, calling it forth, coercing it, almost like coaxing a lover out of bed. But
Nice metaphor.
but
He's
with
working on it.
Someone like me, it's more along the lines of chemicals and symbols, like a alchemist making potions. Well, sometimes there's more unstable versions, and liches and dragons and all kinds of other creatures that seem to break the rules. But that's a bit beyond me, if I could be perfectly honest.
So you
My
know
favorite-
everything about magic.
Well, no, I'm still learning, actually.
Oh, okay.
Quite
Would
astute,
you-
but not very practiced, I think is the word.
And where'd
I mean,
you
I've-
learn all this?
Yeah.
I went to school, like most people do, to learn things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you attend?
It was just like a local school. It was down the street, down the road.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because the one I went to, I always thought it was just a normal college, but there was like magic and mysticism in there. Quite fascinating.
No, yeah, me too. Yeah, I that happened to me too.
I wonder if all magic schools are like that.
Yeah,
If
me
they're-
too.
Keep up this bluster, because I mean, if anyone off the street could just become a magician, that would be just ludicrous.
Yeah, that'd be really weird, huh? Anyways, on a different topic,
He doesn't say anything.
Yeah. On
Well,
a different
not-
topic, silence.
Error 404.
Not necessarily a different topic. Like, for example, you're saying that you went to school to learn all your theories about magic and, your facts about magic. I didn't learn any of that from going to school. Where I come from, we're sort of a tight-knit community, and I was mainly homeschooled by my family and my relatives. I learned all my magic from the people who came before me.
Ah, so you have a ancestral line of magic in your blood.
Yeah, kind of in my blood, but it's not like magic that we know innately, like inside of ourselves. It's stuff that we pick up. And as I'm saying this, I'm like wiping my hands and I'm letting little glittery clouds kind of come out. Like one will be red, one will be blue. It's a really small sensory effect of prestidigitation.
Oh, would you look at that? That's wonderful.
Yeah, so.
And Alex is like leaning in, just staring at it.
And I kind of like rub my fingers together and then blow a blue cloud in his face.
Vape life.
Vape like pull down their cumulonimbus.
So yeah, this is all stuff that we picked up over the years. Like my grandpappy taught me this trick from his own travels, and my cousin, he taught me a little bit about how to use your words a little more effectively to insult than most. Ugh. The first time you used it on me, I did not feel good.
Well, it's like they say, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will leave you with crippling depression.
You have no idea.
Michael stares into his cup of milk, trying to
Aw.
find
Alex is
God.
completely unaware that he just brought the mood down.
Oh boy.
So some magic's just in you, right?
Well, sometimes it needs. How do I put this? And Alex looks around and he takes his glass of tea and he puts it in the center and he's like, imagine the whole world is like this glass and there's
But-
and he starts splashing the tea around it and he's like, all of this magic is just floating around everywhere. But some people can already see it from where we are and they could use it and utilize it. Others need to coax it out in another means. And he sort of spills some onto the table. And he's like, some people just stumble across it. Others need to actively learn and study and focus to make it work. And then some people, and he just snaps his fingers and the puddle is dry. And he goes, just take to it like well, water to sponge.
Nice.
Wow. Michael puts up his hand.
I wish I could clean things up that fast.
Yes, I assume it would make your job much easier. You wouldn't
Oh
have
my-
had to stow away on board.
Bug just
Michael
kind of
raises
nods empathetically, like, yeah. You can't. There was kind of a moment. I didn't want to interrupt, but there was kind of a moment where Bug was just. As soon as you spilled the drink, Bug was just like, "I'm gonna have to clean that up."
Oh. When you said the teacup was the world, Michael's first thought was, it's not a circle.
It's flat.
Michael's a flat earther.
I'm curious now. We know Gwyneth's looking for a family member. Anything in particular you're going to Meridia for? The rest of you? And I kind of look around the table as I ask this.
Business.
Same.
No, that's fair. That's fair too.
Yeah.
I'll look over at Bug.
Yeah, what are you up to?
I am just seeing the world.
Oh man, me too.
Just
I did that for about 40 years.
40
Wonderful thing.
years!
Yeah, Alex, by the way, looks like he's like in his early 20s if you were going by human standards.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, oh, yes, I'm sorry, I'm actually not very experienced with it. I travel the world quite a bit. Well, at least the countries that I could get into, some places are a little more dangerous than
Oh.
others, you see.
You look weird for a 40-year-old.
Well,
yeah, I was
he's
about
an
to
elf,
say, you're
dude.
half my age if you're 40. I mean, you're twice my age if you're 40.
Michael stares at her with, like, fear.
well, I'm not actually 40. I'm 65.
So you're an old man. Are you grandpa?
I beg your pardon. No, I'm not. Well, I'll let you know that in elf years, that's barely even out of schooling.
Carlisle is laughing. Grandpa Alex.
I mean, like, you know all this wizard stuff and you're, like, old. So, I mean, I think you're grandpa.
He's
Maybe
the
you
wise
don't
old
know it
man
yet.
He's the wise old man of this adventure.
As Michael says that, Gwyneth grimaces and drains an entire tankard of ale.
Oh, shit. Michael won't remember this.
Michael won't remember anything.
Michael will forget that he's on a ship in about 5 minutes.
Absolutely. He's gonna
He's
walk up
already
deck.
forgotten, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna get on deck and be like, oh.
Yeah.
Where'd the lad go?
Has anyone
It was
noticed this place is shifting slightly? Is it an earthquake?
It's like the world's a big hammock.
Oh my god, the world is a teacup!
Oh god.
At this point, the elderly halfling gentleman sitting there sipping out of his crystal decanter gets up and
Save us from
leaves.
this conversation.
And then the tabaxi that was in the corner also leaves. And then the human that was kind of listening and drinking next to Lily while she was playing also departs.
Well,
Michael
to be
waves.
fair, we should probably be tucking in. If we're gonna be heading into the port soon, we should probably be rested so that when we get out, we're bright and early and bushy-tailed for the adventure up ahead.
Yes, to good adventures, and Alex raises his glass.
And merry thoughts. And I tap my flute against the cup since I don't have a drink.
Michael looks into his almost empty glass of milk and also raises it.
Trixie sighs. I can go and fill that up for you if you want.
That would be great.
Give it
Um,
here.
Oh, here.
He hands it over. But then he turns to the table again and he says, so does anyone need, like a traveling companion or something?
I mean, I
Absolutely
wasn't
not.
No. Everyone leave. We split the party in 6 directions.
I mean, I'm just saying a lot of people think I should be like, they look at me and they say, where's your father? And they look at me and they say, where's your mom? Are you lost? And I'm not. I'm out here.
Are you sure you're not lost?
Well,
Not all who wander are lost.
yes, what he said.
Now is not the time for fortune cookies.
Michael,
Fortunes.
if-
That reminds me.
I would
Oh, no.
love a traveling companion, wouldn't we, Bug? Like, and Gwyneth is a little bit kind of clearly not going to let Bug go off on their own.
Yeah. But Bug actually doesn't look quite as reluctant as you may be thinking. Like but they kind of yes, it would be good. I suppose company is good.
Oh, and then like Soto voice like leans in and whispers, "Look, okay, we just need to keep an eye on him."
Fair. It's fair.
I don't really have any specific plans when I get to Meridia, aside from getting some sort of job that gives me coin. So I'm fine with hanging out with any of you lot until I find a good job.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Definitely
We'd
need
love
see
to
the
have you,
sights,
Lily.
too. Much appreciated.
Bug just mutters, yes, I'm sure you would.
Hush.
Michael turns to the teacup elf, Alex, and he says,
Are you sure she'd be going off on your own? I mean, you're like an old man. Maybe you'll break your hip or something.
Carlisle cracks up.
Alex just looks at him and goes, "I'm not. I swear." Well, I suppose it'd be nice to have the company, at least for a little while. I must assure you that my business is a bit personal.
Michael beams. Doesn't even matter. He has no idea what that alludes to.
Well,
At any rate, I might be able to find us some good lodging. I actually know someone in the town.
Really? That'd be great.
awesome.
And is there anything else before Sam does the outro statement?
I'm
Well,
good.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna tuck into bed and get a good night rest. But I'll see you all in the morning, and hey, maybe this will be a fun little adventure for the lot of us. Nat, and
I can hear Jack smiling that GM smile of, oh, you have no idea.
So Lily hops off her chair because she's probably been standing in the chair this whole time because she's a halfling. And she just twirls the flute around and she's like, "My heart knows a lovely song. Do 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 do." And she walks out of the room playing on her flute.
Alex just watches her go, and he's like, "And with that, I think I will be taking my leave as well. As the saying goes, the early bird catches the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese." And he walks off to his room.
Michael nods with that new sage wisdom he has been given.
Sage wisdom, but
Bug just looks confused. Like, why does only the second get cheese?
Michael's also confused.
They share just like they both kind of nod sagely and then look at each other like, what did he just say?
Both of them like quirk a brow at each other. Like, wait. Michael's thinking, how does the early bird get the worm, as in dragon? He's trying to figure it out in his head. There's something to do with dragon eggs.
You, unless there's anything else that you want to do on this night.
You know?
No, but Bug is going to do whatever work is assigned and then try and sleep on this.
You notice that Alex's area, when he leaves, like the entire area he was sitting at, like in perfect square straight lines, 1 cubic foot area is clean, like pristine. All the patinas taken off the table and everything.
Oh my god.
That's gonna. Bug is not a diligent worker, so that spot is going to look cleaner than everywhere else on that table, like for a while.
It's gonna look really out of place.
Michael licks his thumb and like starts rubbing at one of the margins to see if it'll change.
Before Alex goes off to bed, Gwyneth is going to like ask again where he hails from. Like, notice that he didn't really answer the question earlier.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Alex just stops, turns around and goes, "Well, I must leave some mystery. Otherwise, what will we talk about when we're traveling?" And just walks off.
Right, of course.
Alex takes a note as he leaves.
Do
Well-
not trust anyone.
Yeah, Alex just pulls the knife out and he's like, "Tonight's the night I kill them."
Now that's Bug.
They've seen too much.
Catch Alex stabbing a rat in his room. He's like, "Ah, gotcha!"
I knew you were a shapeshifter.
You didn't get the cheese now, did you?
All right, Bug. Am I going to be allowed to sleep through the night, or are you going to try to sneak out again?
Oh my god.
Where am I going to sneak out to? I tell you
Well,
this
I
every
don't
night.
Open water.
You can swim.
You tell me this every night, and then every night you all sneak out of the cabin, so...
Fair.
I mean, the boy's got to stretch his wings.
Yes. I am growing growing child.
All right. You know, I can't stay mad at you.
God, please. Scene transition.
Starlight.
Okay.